We'll leave sport aside. We'll leave sport aside. Well, it's good to be on the
Of course, good to have you back after a long time away. How was it?
That was 2 weeks, so.
It was a long time, and I would say that your absence was felt, so.
Kind of.
It's not really. Kind of. It's what it is. They didn't tell you that they missed you.
Oh, sure they did. They did. And for your old school collection, right? I don't know.
I get that always. From the songs I listen to, some people would think that, who is this old man? But they don't know that.
Seriously, I keep wondering if you're back from the 60s. I think it's a good collection, and I'll just say it's a very nice one. Let's see how it goes. I'll keep listening because I'll definitely see how more from you.
Okay, of course, I'm definitely going to do that because I discovered that you're also someone who loves listening to classics.
Seriously, I do.
So of course, and we are just giving them something that's very in tandem with the weather, and to just make them go with it.
Talking about the weather, well,
I can see you've been struggling since the time you entered the
studio. Since I came in, the weather is something else. I think we are actually in that time and that season, so we just have to embrace it the way it is. We just need to be ready for how the season will be.
Now, talking about the weather, between the heat period and now, which one do you prefer?
Well, I wouldn't want to say I prefer anyone, but I think it's just how to do my body acclimatizing.
Okay.
Like this time of this weather, I tend to visit the other room every time.
I don't
That means the other room. I'm talking about visiting the restroom.
Oh!
That means the other room. I'm talking about visiting the restroom.
Oh!
Every
how
time.
Come this baby was now going another way? Who is now the baby here?
That's your baby. You're putting it that way. It just depends on what we are going to put on to adjust to that particular weather.
Of course,
but when it comes to this cold weather, really, it's really cold. You just have to really know how to acclimatize to the weather. But it's favorable to some people. It's not favorable to the rest. I know definitely the farmers will definitely be smiling to the farm because this one will also be okay for them.
No, but it's not. Of course, they will smile because the rains are here and everything. But it's not with the experience.
Why would you say
going to the farm in this cold? I do not know. Maybe my daddy knows I don't like it. Daddy, if I'm watching this,
maybe from your side.
Where the dews are still on the leaves, and then you have to go to the farm. Every other thing will be back you. Like the weather is cold, that you're always there to do it.
There's a way they do it. They're used to it. Those that stay in the villages. And they found and probably the leaves that early hours.
For me, that's like my roots, because even when we had other people do it, I would insist that everyone should go to the farm. We had other people do it, I would insist that everyone should go to the farm.
But you're not used to it anymore. That's the truth.
But it's still giving me PTSD. Well, big shout out to all of our big shout out to all of our farmers out there who make sure that we eat and are doing what we need to thrive as an agricultural economy. And as we continue to move towards that agricultural economy, I'm hoping that we put these people at the forefront as we continue to recognize their efforts.
Yeah.
Well, good to know that with technology, things are becoming easier.
Sure.
You don't need to stress so much. Before, you see, this one they would do before the plant the yam, you have to remove the grasses. You see people's hands cut
from the ridge,
your palms, but now you just go spray your herbicide and everything is well, thank God to the fact that we are moving. Now let's talk about something, Mr. Vic. You are a parent, right? And I believe that maybe you might be coming from a very personal angle on this one. And for the fact that I'm also somebody's child and somebody's my parent, I will know what it's called. Parents love all their kids equally. There is always a favorite child. So the post is currently trending. Some people are already reacting. Some people have agreed instantly that yes, they've lived it firsthand, while others are quick to defend their parents, insisting that love can be equal even if attention isn't. But here is the thing. The man is basically saying that he does not believe a parent can love every child equally, they must have the one they love more. Do you think this is something, is favoritism a thing in our Nigerian homes, or is just in our heads, or is this man just making something out of the blues?
Well, looking at his statement on X, I kind of want to go with him.
Okay.
And before you know anything, you see parents tend to have their favorite child or who they like most.
Okay.
But the truth of it is that you don't allow that to, you don't allow your child or your children to see as a parent that someone that you favor most, because definitely it's going to cause a lot of hitches. Okay. We tend to look at having this one more, or probably liking this one more than this one. You will not know it, but naturally it comes. But it now left for you as a parent to know how to handle that emotions at that time. Now, you might have a boy and a girl. Some will say, I want a girl as my first child, even if when they're just getting married. Some will say, I want a girl as my first child. Why? Because the girl might be industrious, the girl might be homely, the girl might do this, might do that. Some will say, no, I want a guy child, or my first child, and they state their reasons why they want it that way, either from both parties.
Yes.
Now, eventually, when this child now comes in, what you expect might be a different thing entirely.
Okay.
From any of this child, what you expect might be a different thing entirely. Now, a girl child, they believe, a first female child, they believe will be homely, will be taught a lot, and know fully well that a girl child grows faster in terms of brain development more than
exactly spirit.
From a male child.
Yes.
So, but generally, looking at all, I think I will go by his statement.
Okay.
Unconsciously, not consciously, now unconsciously, you have a child that you like most, that you want to favor most. But as a parent, you have to know how to manage it equally and bring it before birth. If you don't take time, before you know anything, you start making comparison, which is dangerous. Even when they move, unconsciously you say, don't you see how this person is doing? Don't you see how this person is doing? Even amongst your neighbors, you will say, are you not seeing how this one is doing? This one here, this one here. That comparison will now come in. So I want to toe his line and say, yes, I think a parent do have child that they favor most.
Parents do have a child they favor most. So you are definitely agreeing with what this person is saying, that if parents love all their children equally, they always have a favorite child. Okay, what do you think about this? Well, for me, I would say I agree. But it's all dependent on how the child reciprocates the parent's love. Because I know that a parent would, that is not me dismissing the fact that some parents do certain things, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, where they get to, like you said, put another child over another one to create some form of, I do not know if they do that deliberately, but I wouldn't want to assume that a parent who labored for their child would intentionally
want to do that.
Exactly. So away from those type of exceptions, I would say that for me, I believe that parents love differently. Yes, they love differently depending on who that child is at a particular point in time. Maybe they're not doing it out of wickedness, like I said, but they're doing it because of the way that child gives back the love that they give. You know, as human beings, we are very reactive. It's what you find in your space that you will react to. It's just like what you give to your parents that you will get most times. And you see that sometimes a parent will love a child, will have a child that is the one they love the most, that will even end up disappointing them most times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and you see that heartbreak. You see them go through that moment of breaking down because they expect that child should reciprocate everything they are doing for them. But not every time is the case. So for me, I would say that sometimes this way that parents feel about their children, or what may seem like they like a particular child more, could be maybe that child pays more attention, Maybe that child is more obedient. Maybe that child is achieving better, because let's face it, children are not born the same. Even from the same, whether they are twins, they came out from on the same day, it's not possible for them to be the same.
Okay,
they all have different abilities. Okay.
Now, Cassie, looking at it from what you're saying, let me come from another angle.
Okay.
Like me, I tend to look at the strength and the weakness of a child. When you look at the strength and the weakness of a child, you should be able to ascertain, okay, maybe this particular thing should come to this kid. This particular thing will come to this kid. Because why I feel most parents get edgy is because of expectations. Maybe they expect this child, by this time, this child should be able to do this. By this time, this child should be doing. Now, when the younger one is now even doing more than the older one, that comparison still comes in. So I feel that when it comes to a particular child, you can be able to check out their strengths and weaknesses. Now, there's some child, or probably some children, who will adapt faster than others, and quickly than others. So if you be able to do that, all this way of, okay, setting standards or probably making comparisons will not come in.
Now, parenting is such a delicate thing. I'm not yet a parent, but from what I do, and even other people who are not biologically my parents that have acted in that capacity of parenting me, I would say that it takes a high level of emotional intelligence for you to parent someone, whether biologically or not.
Sure.
Because, like you said, you are at the same time trying to instill values, but not doing it in such a way that it will end up spoiling the whole thing. And this is where you need to be very conscious about how you go about it. And I talked about the fact that parents reciprocate, or treat their children sometimes based on what they get. Maybe the child is scoring more. Let's be honest. The one who is scoring more, getting more scores in school, will likely be the one that you are always talking about. Not because, okay, I want to talk about him over the others, but because that is the one that is giving you the joy. Then the other one that is failing, you are worried. You are worried that why is this child failing? And that is where some parents now do not know how to go about it, to handle the whole thing and say, how can we help this other one that is lagging behind?
Okay, now I'll give you.
Your brother is doing well, but you are not. Does he have two heads?
I'll give you an instance. I have two boys.
Okay.
And the older one is very playful and very, very active. When I mean active, extremely active. Active in the sense that doesn't sit down on the chair. He's always on the move.
He's probably going to take after you, sports minister.
He's always on the move. But if you look at the other boy, he's calm.
He's more calculated.
And he's also on the active side. But once in a while, you just see
he has more of that
calm
put together attitude.
Now, when we are looking at their scores from school, one is, like I said, one is older, just a class separating both of them. Looking at their class in school, the other one that's calmer seems to be more articulate and calculative in doing these things. The older one,
that's the older?
This one is a younger one. One that is calm is the younger one. The one that is very active
is the older
one. Now, the older one is, I just want to get my things done.
Like in no time.
But I realized that in his, how will I put it, in his state of being very active.
Yes.
He's assimilating.
He's been able to adapt whatever environment finds himself.
You look as if he's not grabbing anything, but he is grabbing.
So he's more on that survival mode.
Anywhere you go, exactly. You see. So when I now throw out something, I'll hear some words coming out from him, and I'll be wondering, is it the same one that is like this, or that is very active, that looks as if he doesn't take instructions, that look as if he's not going to be obedient, as if he's. So I came to understand both of them, that both of them have different ways of assimilating things in as much as it's from. So I tend to now follow both of them the way they are. So I think this is exactly what we as parents should do. Study your child. Do you have enough time to study your child? Because you need to study that same child. The child, you might have a different gene, a different character. The mother has a different gene, different character. They grab from both places. Putting them together to form a new soul. So you need to study your child, know what your child is, before you be able to say, okay, this or that. Everybody, you can love them from different angles.
True.
I love the way this one is because it's calm. I love the way this one is. In as much as I want him to once sit down one place, I can see what that energy is giving to him. Now, what are you doing to that energy? Are you channeling that energy into something productive? These are the questions as parents we need to ask.
Now, I think coming from the parental angle, it gives a very clear picture as to how parents can navigate this whole thing. But we'll always say that there is no one rule for parenting, of course, because some people would say it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Yes, sure.
Because what will work for another parent may not work for another. But somehow there are some general principles that people should adopt as regards how they would go about harnessing every potential of their child. Well, you have been listening to the General Open Banter, and we are just wondering, is it possible for parents to love their children equally? Well, I think Mr. Vic has said that it is not possible because it's just about
it has to do with that particular child itself and what the child is actually producing.
And also, same here, I say that people just give the energy that they get, and whether we admit it or not, if one child makes you feel proud or seen, and the other one keeps challenging and frustrating,
definitely you like the one that's
you naturally know how you relate
exactly
to
that's the
so
thing.
Of course it's not going to be the same, but the real conversation isn't just about whether you like a child more or not. What about the expectations, the personality, or even the survival that can shape love in Nigerian homes or even African homes, Now, I also want to say something, that there's another part of this thing that we don't usually confront. There's a truth we are not looking at. The fact that love is very conditional. Do you believe that love is unconditional? The only love I might say is unconditional is God. It's God's love. The one in John chapter 3 verse 16. That is the one I believe is unconditional. Honestly. Because every form of love that is aside the spiritual type of love that God has for us
is conditional.
It's conditional. Because even your parents, naturally, of course, they brought you to this world, of course. But your parents will love you dependent on who you are and the CGPA you are bringing home.
But when you look at a parent loving you for who you are, they brought you into this world. They brought you to this world because it is whatever you have instilled in this child. Remember that the family is just the unit of the society.
Of course.
It's whatever you must have instilled in this child. Now, if you don't love your child, even if you don't love him the way you love your child, pretend as if you love that child.
It's the same thing.
Because that same child, because if you don't get that love out in the home, yes, I'll actually go with that your word, and it's a statement of fact. Truly, it is conditional. If you want to make it unconditional, then you have to follow that kind of God's love. Truly. But is it possible to follow that kind of God's love in this country?
Only God can love unconditionally.
Now, for looking at that love in a home, it goes a long way. Because anyone who does not get the love from the house, I don't want to use house is just a structure, from the home, will go out there and look for that love.
Yes.
And this is where most of them who go out there to look for this love now start constituting nuisance out there.
Absolutely. Yes. So whatever the child needs to learn, and that is why they say that the home is the first point of socialization, where the boy or the girl needs to learn, and whatever it is that you fail to teach your child within,
go out and learn it.
They'll learn it in whatever form, and whatever they see is what they would take. So coming back to the reality is that people love based on what they feel, what they receive, and how they are impacted. Because even parents, I've seen this case. I'm going to give a personal instance. I do not know if my mom is watching this, but maybe when we come back from the break, I will talk about this from a very personal experience, to just give a glimpse into why I said that love might be shifting. It's not as if they don't love you. They do love you, but it depends on how they see you. But let's go this break, and when we come back, we'll definitely continue this conversation here.
Nothing but feel-good tunes to get you home after work.
Keeps me moving when I'm stuck in traffic.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Abuja, you're in luck. It's the upgrade promo from my Abuja Home Limited. For their Broadwater estate and plots in Gwagwalada, get 250 square meter for just 700k when you make an outright payment. That's a whopping 81% discount, or go premium with 500 square meters for only 1 million naira. That's 80% of the original price of 5 million naira. With our authentic FCT land document, you have no issues at all. We have a flexible payment plan, security, and lots more. Call or WhatsApp my Abuja Home on 0808 883 7426, 0808 883 7426, or 0808 272 3824, 0808 272 3824. Hurry now, promo ends soon. These opportunities also open to military personnel. My Abuja Home Limited. Affordable. Live the life.
Announcement. Farex Borehole. We are competent. We are committed. We simplify borehole for your borehole survey, for your borehole drilling, or any of your borehole challenges. Call us on 0803 59170, 0803 596 5170. You can visit at Goshen Plaza, opposite Jabi Model Park, Abuja.
Nothing but feel-good tunes to get you home after work.
Keeps me moving when I'm stuck in traffic.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. We play another song. The good tunes just don't stop.
The good tunes just don't stop. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
2.3 FM Abuja. And today on the Genre Open Banter, myself alongside Vic, the double V. We have been talking, do parents really have a favorite child or not? Like, can parents love their children equally? Is it possible or not? 09073530044 is the number to call us here on radio, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp 09097054450. Well, we have some comments here on Facebook. This one is from Ode John. John, it's been such a long time. Where have you been? He says about the topic of today, yes, parents have a favorite child. Even in the Bible, we can find it. Yes, somebody had to disguise just to get his father's blessing.
Courtesy of someone. We don't want to go deep.
Courtesy
of someone.
Because
yes.
that child was her favorite child as well.
Exactly.
So she wanted the child to
child.
get the blessings of the father first.
But why would that? That's the thing. Because I tend to see. There's every possibility. Unknowingly, you want to like one of your child, but it is not right. You will do it.
We already saw it, even in the Bible, between Jacob and Esau, how it ended.
You don't do it. The way you can do it, just like you said, there are some things that will spring up and make you like this child. In terms of the character, in terms of doing chores at home, in terms of you bringing up a good grades when you come back home with your results. You know, a lot of ways you can do. But if you throw it open, there is a way. Like see what happened to Esau and Jacob from that instance. I wouldn't know why you want to collect the blessings from your older son, but I think it is divinely orchestrated. So let's just leave the Bible aside.
All right, well, we have a message here from Tina, all the way from Lubwe. Hi, Tina, good morning. She says, hi, Cassie, you have said it all. My kids know the only way to mommy's love is through being a good child. I also believe the popular notion of daddy's girl and mommy's girl is based on the child's obedience out of love to the parent. So it's one that the evil.
And again, let's look at it from another angle.
Okay.
They said a male child will always go with the mom, and a female child will always go with the dad.
I'm such a daddy's girl, though.
So maybe that's why he doesn't want you to go to the farm. Even if you scream and scream, he doesn't still allow you to go to the farm.
No, he does.
That means he's trying to instill something.
You have to go, even if there are people working. Like
maybe
we used
you'll be
to go.
expecting that maybe if you just build your 5-star duplex at the back, you should have a farm.
Of course, everyone should have a farm, actually.
So that's just it. So I think he's trying to instill something. Then, if it's a last girl, the last child as a girl, is always tilting towards the dad. And if it's last child as a boy, is always tilting.
So you
towards the mom.
believe in that notion that girls love their dads?
I think it's natural,
okay.
but it's now left for the mom to do the more of the work, especially to try to bring all the girl child close, like allowing them to be their friends, because it's not all women that are really close to their daughters. Let's be frank, not all of them. But you see some making them, apart from being daughters, you see them making them sisters, making them friends. You see them chit-chatting. They talk not only on the disciplinary level, you see them want to discuss life and say, oh, so that
Yes.
why they grow up, they tend to open up
Yes.
to their mom. And same with the dad. Anywhere your dad is going to, you grab the boys. You go, okay, let's go do this. As a guy trying to do this, wash the car. If your dad's in the kitchen, let the boy assist in the kitchen in knowing how to wash plates or do all those kind of things. I think these are ways you draw your child close to you, not only allowing the grades and other things to be away. That is for most parents that are available.
For most parents that are available, you have been hammering on this availability, because as much as parents are busy trying to make ends meet to give children quality education and of course the good upbringing that they need, there is another part that needs to hold substance, the part where you don't forget the morals, the values that you instill in your child. Because what will it profit your child to attend the best school in town and the parental upbringing is not there?
It's not there.
At least try. Let's know that you've tried your best and God handled the rest. Because sometimes, to be honest, it's not as if parents do not train their kids, but some of these children do not take it.
They don't take it. It's
They
one
don't.
thing to train. It's one thing to make sure that they exhibit that thing and really start practicalizing that thing.
Sometimes
it's
they
not-
might do it where you are. When they go, it's a different ballgame altogether.
That's what I'm saying. See, parenting takes a lot.
Of course, and it doesn't stop.
It doesn't
Even
stop.
in adulthood.
Even in adulthood, it doesn't stop.
it
But
doesn't.
at least those ones, the school instill and you instill right from that age until it gets to once Pekin don't enter 13, 14 or more, forget that. See, they have a different mindset. Because that formative years,
Yeah, when the puberty, adolescence age
once those things start
begin to
coming
set
in,
in.
if you except for most child that really wants to learn, it enters the left and come out from the right. If there's anything like that, truly, formative years has come and gone. They have seen you doing something, and they want to follow you all through that thing that you are doing. But the truth is that you have to keep following them, or you see them exhibiting such.
Now, you said something that I also grabbed something from what you said, that they have to see you doing. Now, do you know that most times parenting is more of practical, what they see you do, than what you tell them to do? Because you are telling your child that do not steal, but your child is seeing you removing money from daddy's pocket and wallet when you are washing.
Let me give you another example. I'm always on my phone, and the kids, they also want phone
Because daddy said not
because
on your phone, daddy's on the phone.
and they're seeing daddy with phone. I have to tell them daddy is
using
working
his
on
phone.
it. Daddy is working on the phone.
So tell me, are you working on your own phone?
That's the thing. So,
How much are you bringing to this?
I have to tell them, once you resume school, no phones, no TV, until the whole term is over. But once in a while, I want to adjust those rules. Maybe by weekend, okay, go and watch this by weekend. At least you don't have anything to do. Go and do that. But daddy, you're using your phone now. I said yes, because I am working on my phone, and the phone brings money to me. Are you going to bring money? So these are the things that we need to spell out, and that's why they see and act with what you are doing. So you have to, with what you say, match your words with action. That's how it is.
Match your words with action, because children learn by what they see, not necessarily by what they hear.
Yes.
Of course, they might say what they have heard, but they are likely to act more on what they see, than what they have been told. Now, now we have a message here from Tina again. She says, Vic, no matter how you try to make a girl child close to you, they might open up to you, but they will still love daddy more, and the son will always love mommy more. It's natural.
I don't know if I think I actually said that the mom would tilt. Sorry, the boys or the male child will tilt towards the mom. And take for instance now, my growing up. We should go talk about your experience. When you're talking about it, I started thinking. I wasn't really close to my dad.
Okay.
He was, I grew up in the base. I don't want to use the word barracks because Air Force now base. I mean, I'm barrack. I grew up in the base, and I grew up with the mixtures of different tribes.
Yes.
I wasn't really close to my dad. He's just very tough, very disciplined. And after I grew up to where I am now, I tend to see the angle of where he's coming from.
Absolutely.
You see?
Absolutely.
Now I was thinking he was wicked. I was thinking he doesn't love me. But now I'm beginning to see it from this age that I'm in now. I'm trying to compare him those years. But my mom, I was close to her.
Yeah.
Once in a while, when that rancor comes in, I know where to.
She'll always want it easy.
And
like,
now, funny enough now, the same old man, I'm missing him. Because it's no more.
You wish you spent more
and now I
time
wish
with
I
him.
spent more time. So that scenario that happened over the time, I would not allow it to play
with your
with these
children, because
so
you've
this
learned.
exactly. So whatever it is, there's always something to learn from. You have to learn from your parents. They too learn from their parents. So you have to learn from your parents. And okay, take for instance now, I moved into an environment and I saw a young girl cleaning up, and the young girl was cleaning up very well. And this other woman came out was admiring what the young lady was doing, and had to call her own, I don't know if it's her daughter or something, call her out. Are you seeing this girl? Are you seeing what she's doing? Blah, 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 blah. Now, in as much as she's trying to pass a message, but you're going to cause something between both girls. This one unnecessarily will not like this other one because they see that you're doing something. So these are the things that parents need wisdom to really do when you're acting that way.
All right, when you're acting that. Now, when you talked about this, honestly, sometimes when our parents do certain things, we don't really see it from the point of love. We see it more from the point of
punishment and hatred.
yes. And yes, even some of our parents didn't know better. Maybe they would have handled it better, but they also did not know. Remember that probably they were not parents before they became your parents, of course. That was their first time being a parent, and it was more of, and they did not have access to so much information as we do have now. They were known to have grown up in the more, just this is what we know.
That
Linear.
culture, that
Exactly.
norm,
It has to be this. But God is kind to us that with the world diversifying and everything evolving very fast, modern day parents are beginning to have access to perspectives, different perspectives,
yes.
and it's making it easy. Like you said, there were times, as much as I say I'm a daddy's girl, my dad is a disciplinarian. Anybody who knows my dad knows that he does not joke. You can imagine a lecturer for that matter. So.
I can imagine.
So you can't even come and lie about anything in school. What would you want to lie about that my dad does not know already? So like, we were always, from schoolhouse. I didn't play as a child. That's the truth. I didn't play as a child. Let's pick this call and then we'll come back. Hello.
Hello, my dear sister. How are you? How are you doing?
Very well.
The Fourth Minister.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is Otanya calling direct from the airport.
All right. Good to have you from the airport. Go ahead, please.
Whenever I need something, I use my daughter. Because the father loves her so much. Sometimes I get jealous whenever I see them together. But you know what the father tells me?
No.
He will say, Madam, this one is my daughter, and she's my mother.
Abi.
I don't know why people like cheating, though. Men, they don't like the boys, but they like the girls. Why now? Please, Sports Minister, I beg, explain more to me. I want to know. I want to know why.
I think it's just natural, and there's no way we'll talk about it. But while she was talking about that particular aspect, it drives me towards my biology days.
Okay.
When they say when the male and the female wants to come, as in when the formative probably give birth, the chromosome from the male
man
comes from the chromosome from the female, and it forms the XY chromosome and
Yes, the
XX
X.
chromosome. One definitely come from the male. you know.
But it's the man who contributes to the boy. So
That is the
so
thing.
how come?
The man definitely is the man definitely contributes. So I think it's natural. I don't know how to place my fingers on it to start explaining why they.
I wouldn't want to say that men do not like their boys, because
They
it's not in
do.
this same place that we know people. Oh, I want a male child. I want, apart from just they being their children, I see that men see their boy children as, yes, continue my lineage and everything.
Do you know? Sorry, I'm cutting you short, Cassie. Do you know that there's a part of this country where they will prefer their firstborn to be male, and also there is this part of this country where they want their male child to be educated instead of the female child.
Yeah.
So I think it's cut across also.
It depends on the dynamics in different families.
Cultures and so on like that. So I think it's just the culture playing a role, nature also playing its own role. So that's just how it is.
So many factors,
So
honestly.
many.
And like we said, it's not one rule applied to anyone. So like I was saying, it depends, because I know that my dad would say the boys, of course, like he would want the boys to be in a certain way. Of course, these are the ones that will carry his name. Me, I will go and carry another man's name, isn't it? But they always feel like the girl child is that nurturer. She will always remember home. So no matter what you do, as much as you are giving the boy the education, my dad did not segregate. He gave everyone equal opportunity. Whether you are a male or female, everyone went to the best schools that you needed to go to at that point. So he did not say this is it or that is it. And even when he knew that everyone had the ability, he just allowed everyone. He knew that, okay, this person is there as regards the IQ and everything. This other person is there. Everybody should take their time. Do you know that it took a very long time for my brother to pick up? It took a long time for my brother to pick up. And one thing, right from time, I was always the active kind of, like, I have to know what I'm saying, and even when they don't ask me, I will say it. I was that type of child. But my brother was a slower type, that he took his time. His cognitive abilities took time. So at some point, they were feeling, okay, this boy, maybe he's a load or something, does not. But do you know that at some point when that guy picked up, I don't think that anybody competed with him until was he in later before he started dropping. But even at that, he graduated with so many awards in school to prove that he knew what he was doing. So the fact that I was more of the active type didn't. And sometimes my dad says several times that he wished I was a boy. I'm like, you see, so mean that I'm now a girl. It doesn't mean that.
I think that wish is just it's just a wish.
Exactly.
It's
So
just
you
a wish,
see
yeah,
them
because-
wish certain things or say certain things, but it's because of certain characters we might exhibit as children. That is okay. Maybe because you are more active, he would expect that. Okay, maybe don't go to another man's house. Just stay in my house and continue with that. But at the end of the day, like we are saying, it depends on everything that is going on within the family circle.
And I think again, my advice to parents is to try and their expectations, they should try to bring it down a
Exactly.
bit and just take every child the way they are. You're talking about their level of picking things, the level of reasoning. The same way is to my first son. It's very slow. He will get it.
Yes, but he needs to take his time.
Take his time to grab that particular thing. So I think parents should lower their expectations, and as they come, every year, every month, see them the way they are. Then grab what you need to grab, instill more, and keep moving. That is how it should go. Because, like, take for instance now, the same way level of reasoning, mine was very slow. That to a point, because of the military posting from one place to another, my younger sister had to catch up with me. She's the only girl following me directly.
Okay.
They have other soldiers following her from behind.
Okay.
Now, we were writing WAEC together. My WAEC result wasn't because I was a science student.
Yes, she was the person going ahead.
And yes, it was. So once that result came in at that first instance, it was a blast from my parents, especially from my dad. It was a blast. You need to see the ceremony that was taken, not ceremony, the ceremony that took place at home. Why? Because of she was high in terms of our level of reasoning was
higher than yours at
and
the time.
it was just like a year plus separating both of us. And she was an art student, and I picked being a science student, got that. But later, things started changing.
Exactly.
Later, things started changing. So for parents at home, both childs are different. Even if they are twin,
they are
different.
They are different.
Their level of reasoning will be different. So for you to love that child, and you want to love them equally, because it is still possible. But there is a but.
You have to manage
exactly.
it.
There's a way you will go about it.
You have to go about it in
there's
some
a way you
type
go
of
about
way.
it, because you can't tell me that you dislike this child naturally. No, there's a way you go about it. Even if it means
I don't think any parents intentionally dislikes their child.
That's the thing. So when we level that expectation, we know our child, the children's strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
We can be able to love all these children equally. That's how I see
Word. Preach on. Preach on, Double V. Now, everything you've said is very apt, and that is why I said that you are looking at it not just from the angle of someone who was once someone's child and is still somebody's child, but also as someone who is parenting children.
an offer.
Of course, but that was
we'll grab the experience.
That was just on a lighter note. Of course, you have parents. God is definitely your father. So now, but everything you said is quite on point, because you have pointed out the same thing that I've been saying here, that take it easy. Every child is different. You just have to admit, and I think that that's the truth that my dad came to accept at some point. He allowed every child to flourish. He wanted me to be a science student. Honestly, Mr. Vic, I can't solve maths up till now. But you see my brothers, they solve it as if they could be sleeping, you give them and they solve it easily. But I cannot even attempt it. I don't want anything that has to make me calculate too much, except money, of course.
Okay.
But anything mathematics, these boys are on top. Like, they are there making sure it's done. But everybody is different.
Everybody's different.
Me, I might speak all the English and do all that one, but when it comes to that one, I can't do it.
You can't do it.
So at the end of the day, you just need to understand that your kids are different. And I was going to talk about my mom. The fact that growing up, I always got that perception that my mom loved my brothers more. Especially my brother. Yes, because according to her, my brother was more empathetic, and she felt that I was being more empathetic towards my dad. I was pitying my dad more than I was pitying or taking consideration of her plight down. Like, she felt that my brothers were more understanding of her situation, in understanding her as a person. I was interested in understanding her person. I did not know what gave her that perception at that point, but I always knew as a child that my mom
loved the boys.
No, she loved my brother so much. I could always feel that.
Like I said, I
she
think
would even say
natural.
it. She would even say it. So, but now, I don't think it depends.
It depends.
It depends on who comes through as well. No,
that's the thing. And now she might be putting the calls more to you than even them.
Like, she feels more comfortable talking to me than
those are the age that will come and go. But whatever you have instilled in this child will start coming out later years, in the mid-20s, in the early 30s, in the early 40s. You'll start seeing those things coming up. And finally, probably before we leave, allow your child explore. Allow them explore. Don't restrict them to anything. Even if you see them doing something, ask why they are doing it. You'll be shocked to hear some things. I know many times.
And if the answer is not really like what should
then
be,
you now guide them through.
I think that gives a better learning experience than you telling them don't do it and you don't go further than that.
That's
you are saying, why are you telling them not to do
because
it?
Even if you allow them explore, you're close to them, they will open up. They will open up to you. There are instances I've seen them come home. There are some things they hear in school. They will come back home. Oh, we heard this thing. I'll be wondering, where did you hear it from? Because if you're not open to them, they will not open up to you. If you're not close to them, they will not open. So allow them explore. I've seen the situation where that my child has come up to say, tomorrow, then I want to be this. Tomorrow I want to be this. Tomorrow, I'll just tell that one day you'll be everything. But like I said, allow them explore. You'll be able to see their strengths. You're able to see their weaknesses and pick on them. And again, please bring your expectations down, man.
Bring your expectations down.
And follow those expectations as they grow. you'll be surprised what you get when they turn teenage age.
All right, thank you so much. Now, this message says, "Good morning, Cassie and Double V. A nice topic you are treating today. 90 to 97% of parents have used this shallow love of who is favorite to mess up the lives of their children by forcing them to be in professions they are not fit in. That's why you find a lawyer delving into music professionally." And he says the issue of likeness for a boy or girl is just the true reality of like pole attracting and unlike poles attracting each other, and being that the girl child will be married one day and leave the home to another family like forever, but the boy child is home forever. Noble deal. Thank you very much, Noble D. Where are you sending us this message from? We appreciate you as always here on Eagles FM Abuja. It's been a very unraveling conversation that we've had here this morning on the open banter. Honestly, an emotional one. It just makes me remember childhood, and of course, I'm now missing my daddy.
Just put a call
of
across.
Course. Well, it's a lot, you know. It's a lot. But at the end of the day, it's just for parents, like you said, to be very tactical.
Yes, very, very.
No parent knows it all perfect, not even the word perfection. So at the end of it, it's just for you to know how you go about certain things so that your children do not know that you love one more than the other. And he said something here that, you know, sometimes you just want your child to be a doctor. Your child must not be a doctor. There are so many other professions that are thriving.
Does that still work this time and age?
There are people who are still restricting, like they want you to be in a certain place, you know.
I remember a lawyer friend who didn't even want to study law. But his dad did not force him. You know what the dad did?
Okay.
He enclosed him with different things about law.
Okay, like influencing him, but not directly.
So he just kept it there, and all he kept doing was reading those things, and he kept doing it. So exactly
making up the components of his brain,
and before you know anything, he became a lawyer, and he's enjoying it because of what he has gone through over the years.
But because of the method the father used, he did not come out rightly to say, okay, you must be a lawyer or we'll have problem in this house, and that could lead to rebellion. Because when you come all out, there are some people today, you know, back then, sports was such a taboo in Nigerian homes, in African homes. They say your son wants to be. But today, do you know that parents, even before the child starts to kick in the stomach, they're already putting the ball there. That you have to be a footballer because I've seen how much a seaman is earning. And
you don't need to tell me. Even back at home, both of them will call me. Immediately, I just, like, if I finish my show now, I get back home. They'll actually, hey, Daddy, what happened to Mbappe? Is he actually leaving Real Madrid? You see, he left PSG, and now PSG won the Champions League. Look at his to tell you that once their interest is somewhere, I tend not to force them. I know they love football, but I don't
you want them to choose a path for themselves, not because that is doing it.
The younger ones loves anything. Gaming. That is also another aspect of sports.
Absolutely.
That's also another aspect of technology. So I just allow them to do what they want. But I know that time will come when they will delve into what they really love.
To do.
So that's just allow them be. Let them explore. Because truly, whatever we do at home replicates in the society.
True.
That's just the truth.
So true. Whatever we do at home replicates in the society. How you handle your children will determine how the would go. And of course, as they're living homes, they are definitely going to mingle with other people, and the results would be evident in our society. Well, at the end of the day, if you ask me, I would say that man proposes, God disposes. Jam 2025. Well, the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, we might do everything, but it's just to give it to the spiritual, how do I put it? The upper hand that we have up there to take control of everything, because at the end of the day, only he has the final say, but we definitely have a role to play.
Yeah, Cassie, you want me to make me go spiritual. I always say 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, the spiritual rules over the physical. We have a role to play. We are all actors here. We are playing the script, and whatever we do.
All right. It's take all of things into cognizance. Thank you very much for listening to Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can always count on. Yes, it is still the Eagles Morning Rise show right here. Whatever it is you're doing,